Hey, Curtis here. I'm gonna I want to talk about isolation, the danger of isolation, and I'm gonna kind of tell my story how life can change on you, and maybe you care, maybe you don't, but maybe you're going through something similar. Um, and what really prompted me this, and I'm kind of doing a review of my life. Jordan Peterson was talking about the importance when we were children, like when we were four, that we hung around with other children and we learned to associate and how well we did, if we did hang around, had some friends, had some buddies or girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever. And that's called social, it's your social acceptance. And then you go through life. And so my story is, yeah, I had friends, right? I joined the military, had good high school buddies, friends, joined the military, and about 26, I get a divorce. Um, I'm out of the military. I'm 30. Sorry. I got married at 26. But by 30, I'm out of the military. And a lot of my friends don't know this in the military. So basically, I was by myself. I was living in a home. I had to get a job. I worked in places that, really we weren't hanging out at work. And they're not what you call the best of cultures. You had to do what you had to survive. So for a long time, nobody even knew I was still in Oklahoma City. And yes, you have changed jobs and you work and work cultures. If they're good, you got friends. Maybe you hang out. Maybe you meet somebody. And then your relationships, if you go through that gamut of relationships where you dated or you hung out with somebody and it didn't work, right? And so, but you spend a lot of time isolated. Isolation is not good. Okay. Uh, I'm gonna jump forward. Even being a business, starting your own business today, being a widower, not having a spouse there. Now, this is going to hit home. If I'm jumping forward, I want you to understand if if you just lost your spouse, your world turns upside down, and you don't really have anybody in the home, and you're trying to run a business, it gets tougher because we need social people, but we also have to choose those people. So let's say you're trying to start a business and you're a self-employed person. It's really, again, this was on Jordan Peterson and Dave Ramsey. We're talking about this was a talk. Pretty interesting. You need to get associated with some other small business people like the Rotary Club or something. And if you do that, you won't be feeling alone. And you got this friendship that kind of helps you, hey, well, why don't you try this or what you do that? And, but hopefully they're friends and not critics. Now, the worst thing you can have happen to you is you're in this situation and then you got somebody that wants to criticize you and tell you all this and that, and they don't really understand your position. Maybe they've been in the military, maybe they've always had people around them and they still, got friends that they can hang out with. And so people don't understand people that got isolated. Now, I know this isolation is an issue, especially if you lose your spouse. At least when you're married, you're not isolated. So you don't know what isolation is until you come home to a lonely house and you don't have your children and you got birds in the background. That's all I got, birds and dogs. And I'm not asking for pity. I'm actually wanting to let you know that it is very dangerous and it takes a very tough person to live an isolated life. If you leave your corporate job or or things aren't going right at corporation, things aren't going good at work, and things aren't going good at home, will burn you out. You will learn a lesson. So if you like your job and you get around people and you've got a few good customers that can give you, when you go and you do a good job for them, and you at least get some satisfaction out of it. Today I was feeling pretty good until I got stuck and somebody made a comment. So I'm just saying, at any minute somebody can say something and you're like, I'm done. I'm out. I'm quitting. I don't know why I try to do this. I need to go back and get a job, but I don't want to go back where I was because cultures are changed. I see a lot of this in corporations, people working the shift and everybody's on their phone. We're not really socially involved with anybody. We're all on our phone watching stupid videos. We're not trying to grow. We're not trying to learn. and we're going to go back home, but you got somebody to go home to, which is a great thing. That's really all you need is a great family. Hopefully things in the family is there. So when you get isolated, or another word is if people have hurt you or you felt hurt from relationships and you get bitter and you have resentment and you got wounds from the past, you're in a danger zone. And most of you are going to try to say, oh, I'm doing just fine, I'm great. No, we were meant to at least have some good social friends. So now if you've got close friends or whatever, you're not as bad. But if you don't have any friends and you don't have, like, maybe you go to your church and that's where you have some friends, or you got a few people that call and check, you can be in a serious problem and not know it. Isolation is not good. If you don't get along with your family already, if you have dysfunctional family and you can't communicate, that's another touche. That's another downside, because you can't have an intellectual conversation. Everything is always chaos. And yeah, you got to dig yourself out of this. So you need to find, I don't know all the answers to this, but you need to find people that you can associate with and get along with, at least a couple. Become involved. Maybe you need to get out and just go volunteer to do something and get around other people that are like-minded, like you, that want to do it, because you'll lose yourself. The strategy, what the big picture of this is the enemy. We call him the devil. I do. He wants to isolate you. And everybody sometimes thinks there's safety in isolation. It's actually the opposite. It is the worst thing you can do. But where am I going to go? I'm going to live by myself in a shack. No, it's not good. And you got your reasons, and the enemy saying you need to stay there. It's not good, not mentally. Maybe you're a strong person and you live by yourself, and that's fine if you can live by yourself, but you need somebody out there. Friends that you go, like I've got friends that go like to dig diamonds or something. Just something that carries you to the next stage. Somebody that you again, maybe it's at church, maybe it's somebody you have breakfast with or lunch with, maybe it's the people at the corner store. But isolation, you don't want to be there. It's not good for your mental mindset. Now, I hope that helps. Don't have all your answers, but just don't be isolated. No man's an island, and we are here to be social. And if you've had social issues, just try to find somebody that's like-minded. And yes, be careful who you select, because they can lead you astray. See, there's a lot of complications to it, but if you just keep doing it and be you, don't quit trying to be like everybody else. You're just fine, just like you are. Quit watching social media and take your mask off and be you and find the real you. And then go be the real you in front of people. If people don't like the real you, you know what? I mean, they don't like you. That's okay. Be you. Quit trying to be somebody else. Have fun.